Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna and Shanti Bhavan Swami Vishnu Pada Krishna Krishna and Shanti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurav Channel Sashimi Pastor Destan Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Madhavni Chanda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhaktavina Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the topic of chanting in the early morning hours. Brahma Muhurtha. Have you heard about Brahma Muhurtha? Early morning hours. It's about 70 minutes, 72 minutes before sunrise. It depends on, place to place. Because sunrise is early here in the, west coast. Yeah. So before that, we'll discuss Ashtanga Yoga. Little bit. Yeah. So you all heard about Ashtanga Yoga. So one of the Hare Krishna Prabhu. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the life story of Dhruva Maharaj. You heard about Dhruva? You heard about Dhruva? Yeah. Dhruva was a very, very young boy. At which time, he was only 4 years old, at which time he was insulted by his stepmother, Suruchi. So he was trying to get onto his father's lap. Uttanapada is his father. The Uttanapada, who is the king, had two wives, Suruchi and Suniti. The elder one is Suniti, which is the mother of Dhruva. The younger one is Suruchi. So one day the boy, Dhruva, and he has a cousin as well, Uttama. He's a son of, son of the other mother, stepmother. So one day the boy was trying to get onto the lap of his father while he was sitting in the Simhasan. At that time, Suruchi sees this, and she would immediately stop him, telling him that you are not eligible to get onto the lap of your father in this lifetime. And then he would be stunned and he would look at his mother, stepmother, and then she says, to become eligible to sit on the lap of your father, you have to take birth in my womb. That was such an insult. No. Dhruva was a young boy, but he's a Kshatriya, right? Even though he's 5 years old, he becomes really passionate, really, he gets insulted. And immediately cries and runs to his mother. His mother, Suniti, she's a devoted lady. She understands that father loves his co-wife more than herself. She accepts that. But for Dhruva, it's not, he's a boy, he's a son, so he could not accept it. And he would look at his father when his stepmother says this. He would look at his father to hear some sympathy or, at least some defense from him. And his father would stay silent because of his, attachment to the second wife. He didn't want to disturb his relation with her. So Dhruva gets insulted and he goes to his, his mother, Sunidhi, and then he asks, how can I get a kingdom bigger than my father? A 5-year-old boy. And in fact, he would say, I want kingdom bigger than my grandfather Brahma. So his mother first thing is, no, don't ever compare, she would say. And then she says, everything anybody gets, is only gotten by God. So, and then he says, where would I find God? She says, great sages find him in forest. So he was sent to, he goes to forest, and on his way, he passes many mountains and valleys, and he finds a place to meditate. But he doesn't know what to do. He's not even Aksharabhyasa is not done. So he doesn't know any writing, reading, nothing. He doesn't know anything. At that time, he meets Narad Muni. Narad Muni, talks to him and says, why are you here, boy? You are so young. You should be playing with your friends. What are you doing here? Narada, Dhruva says, I need a kingdom bigger than my dad. I want, and I want to meet God and ask for it. So give me the path if you know. Narada says, no, boys like you should play. This is the time to play. He's just trying to test him whether he's really serious. And Dhruva says respectfully, if you can help me, please help. Otherwise, get away my path. Don't come in my way. I'll try to find my path. Then Narada understands this boy is really serious. Then he says, yes, I will teach you the path. And he teaches the path of Ashtanga Yoga. And he gives the Narayan mantra to chant. Ashtanga Yoga to get himself fit for chanting mantra, and Narayan mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That mantra he gives to chant. So that Ashtanga Yoga we'll quickly discuss, because many people understand, hear about it, but don't know exactly what it is and how it is relevant to them, and how it can help for a devotee practicing Bhakti Yoga. So Dhruva practices Ashtanga Yoga and also meditates on, Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayana, chanting the names. And within 6 months, he realizes and achieves perfection. And Lord appears before him. And when Lord appears, he would ask him, hey, ask whatever you desire. But looking at Lord, all his material desires will vanish, because he says, I was looking for, broken glass, and I got a diamond, because the audience of Lord is like a diamond, right? He witnesses Lord and he's directly interacting with him. So he says, I don't really desire anything material now. But Lord says, you started with that, so let's have something for you. So, he will, so you would rule the planet of Dhruva. You will go and I will be there personally to be with you. So the Dhruva planet is a Vaikunta within the material world. The only Vaikunta within the material world. It's right here in the, current, this solar system, this, pole star within the current universe. Yeah, it exists as pole star. So that is the chandelier for the entire, planetary system actually, pole star, the central planet. So he ruled that planet for 36,000 years, and I think he's still continuing to rule. Yeah. Anyway, he was taught the Ashtanga Yoga in that age, right? What is Ashtanga Yoga? What is Ashta? 8. So it has 8 limbs, so known as Ashtanga Yoga. And it has a series of, so the first is yamas. What is yama? The word yama, the don'ts, things one should avoid. So there are things one should avoid, there are things one should do, and then begin the process, right? For anything you want to achieve in life, you should always follow some do's and some don'ts, right? Suppose you are studying for exam. What are the some don'ts you should follow? What are some don'ts? Any don'ts that you should make sure you follow? You should not watch YouTube at the time. Avoid Instagram. What else? Huh? Last minute studies. You should study every day. Yeah. As a student, you should be regular in your studies. Anything else? Huh? Don't sleep too much. Yeah. During exams, at least, should study, revise everything. So there are don'ts. You should eat light the day before exam. Things like that. You should keep yourself healthy, and you shouldn't play too much also because you might injure you. So like that, there are always don'ts, and also there are do's, right? You should study regularly. You should, hear classes properly, complete your assignments, whatever do's. For everything that there are do's and don'ts. Even to achieve success in yoga, there are do's and don'ts. So the don'ts here are ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. So these are the 5 don'ts. Ahimsa. Ahimsa means do not cause pain to other living entities. Right? Do not means in this world, in the material world, every living entity causes pain to the others. Right? Mosquito thinks, I can just suck blood, just sits on your body and sends its pump and pumps up your blood, right? And then immediately what you do, you take a mat, electric mat, just burn it live, burn it live in a second. People do that. So there is always, this kind of relation between living entities in the material world. But we should try to avoid. For everything, there is a solution. For example, in your area, if there are too many mosquitoes, you can have a mosquito net. Then mosquitoes cannot come in, and you have your sleep. And mosquito understands, because this guy got a mat, I can't get blood from him. He's very intelligent. Let me go out and find somebody else, right? So we should always see ways to be non-violent in this material world, right? Non-violent to mentally, physically, in every way, right? Mentally means we should not cause pain with your words, right? We should not engage in, arguments with people, and at a different level, at a spiritual level, you should, if you are having knowledge of spirituality, you should share with them, because the biggest non-violence is letting the living entity repeat its material cycle of birth and death, right? So that is the highest spiritual level. There is material level and bodily level as well, emotional level and bodily level. So in this way, one should practice ahimsa, or do not cause pain to other living entities. That's the first don't. Second is satya. Satya means one should speak as far as possible truth. One should not lie, right? We should not, for the sake of our own profit, we should not lie in business or anything. If you have given a word, you should keep to it. Right? So that is satya. Asteya means one should not steal others, whatever belongs to others. Could be even intellectually. We should not take others' ideas and steal it, right? So that is asteya. One should not steal. And then brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means one should stay celibate at least until student life, and after after that one can enter grihastha life, and marry, and but no buri nazar, no looking at other women in any negative way. We should treat everybody else as mothers, right? So in that way we should lead our life. That is brahmacharya. Aparigraha, non-coveting or non-possessive. In this world, live a simple life. We should not accumulate too many things. Why we should not accumulate too many things? If we have too many things, what happens? Huh? We'll get attached. But also, you have to maintain them, right? If we have more things, more maintenance. So try to minimize and you know lead as simple a life as possible, right? With minimal requirement. Maximize the use of what we have. So that is, these are all yamas, right? Don'ts one should have. And then niyamas. What are some of the niyamas, right? First is, so these are all required to be followed by anybody to progress spiritually, right? Whether in devotional path or in Ashtanga yoga or in Jnana yoga, anywhere, right? To make spiritual progress, one has to follow this. So niyamas, the first niyama is saucha. Saucha means cleanliness. One should clean himself externally as well as internally. Externally, as soon as we rise in the morning, we clean our mouth, take a bath, right? We evacuate and clean our tummy. So in this way, we clean our body, and then we chant the holy names, for example, right? In Bhakti Yoga path, we chant holy name. So that will clean our mind. Because if you don't, then the unwanted things will disturb us. What are the unwanted things? Just like, uh, just like we have accumulation of dirt in ear, nose, mouth every morning. So there are also unwanted things in our mind. What are some of them? Otherwise, why we should chant, right? There are unwanted things. Huh? Yeah, lust, greed, anger, envy, false prestige. These are all unwanted things in our mind. And we have to clean it on a daily basis, right? Just like we take care of our body, right? By cleaning it and feeding it every day. How are we taking care of our mind? Our mind also needs nourishment. So that is, cleanliness. So the best way to clean our mind is to chant the holy name. And then santosha. Santosha means one should be happy with what he has. We should not, we should not compare. He has that, I don't have. He has a Tesla car, I don't have. That should be the last worry for you, right? He has he has a bigger post, I don't have. Because in comparison, one will never be happy. It doesn't mean that you don't aspire for bigger things. You should only compare to what you have, what you can get and what you have today, right? Potentially. But one should not compare with others and lose happiness for it. We should be happy with what we have. And we should work towards getting better uh, at ourselves, right? So that is santosha. Self-satisfaction should be there. Without that satisfaction, one cannot have focus of mind on spiritual pursuits. So it's important to have a level of satisfaction in our mind. And then tapas. One should be ready to do some austerity. For us, in Bhakti Yoga, the austerities are simple. What are some of the austerities we practice? Waking up early, that's the actual topic. So to bring that, I'm bringing all this. So yeah, so waking up early is a very important aspect, right? Because those hours are far more powerful than rest of the day. And it is infused with mode of goodness. So tapas means austerity. And what other things? Waking up early and practicing spiritual life. That's one thing. Fasting, yeah. We fast. Some of us fast on Ekadasi days. Once in 15 days it comes, right? So that is another austerity one can perform. It doesn't mean that we don't fast from eating anything. It's not like that we practice. We don't eat grains, right? So that is the idea behind that. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So that is tapas, and then swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means reading, self-study, right? inquiry and self-study. We should spend some time in intellectual inquiry. Means we should think about our own life, how am I leading, and especially spiritual life, right? Some retrospection and study of scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavatam especially. So that is Swadhyaya. And then Ishwar Pranidhan. Ishwar Pranidhan means having some level of faith in a supreme power. That's the beginning of spiritual life. We should have a faith that there is higher power to whom I should self-surrender. Right? So in our case, we surrender to Lord Krishna, right? In Bhakti Yoga path. It's very clear. Path is very clear for us. So these are some niyamas. Niyamas means the do's one should do. What are these? Saucham, one should keep himself very clean. Santosha, one should have a level of satisfaction in life. Tapas, one should ready to perform a level of austerity at a basic level at least. And Swadhyaya, one should be ready to learn scripture, right? And study on a regular basis. And then one should have faith in the Supreme, right? So Ishwar Pranidhan. So these are the do's. And the don'ts we already discussed. Ahimsa, one should not cause harm to other living entities. Always speak truth, Satya. Asteya, one should avoid taking others' things, right? Brahmacharya, one should follow, one should not covet other women or men. And aparigraha, one should not possess too many things materially, right? Because that will distract our attention. So these are the yamas and niyamas. If one follows these, right, to some extent, then he is eligible to practice asanas. Asanas are to make your body flexible, right? So that your body remains healthy. These are various yogic postures you perform so that your body stays healthy and fit, right? So that is asanas. And then pranayama. Prana means life force. Ayama means going in and outside, right? So controlling. So controlling life force. Through pranayama, one can control the life force, right? So it has the poraka, rechaka. Poraka means breathing in, rechaka means exhaling, and kumbhaka means holding. So these are the three components of any pranayama technique. So it's all through controlling breath, you control your life, prana, right? So that is called pranayama. And there are various techniques, that the yogis practice. Even we all can practice to keep our, emotional body healthy. It will immediately relieve your anxieties. Asanas keep your body fit. Pranayama fixes your emotional, problems. Like if you have a lot of anxiety, as soon as you practice some breathing exercise, immediately it will go away, right? There are anulom vilom, breathing in for a few seconds, holding it up, and then breathing out, right? Rechaka. So by practicing that, immediately you will see your anxieties will go down, right? Or if you have negative thinking, right? Practice this, immediately you will see the effect, right? So that is pranayam. And once you do pranayam, now you have emotionally keeping your body healthy, right? Physically, you already did with the asanas. Emotionally, you did with pranayam. Now pratyahar. Pratyahar means there are these senses. What are the senses we have? Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin. So these are our senses through which we acquire knowledge in this world, right? Through all the inputs in this world, go through these five senses on the face, right? And then skin. So pratyahara means things that are not favorable for your spiritual life, try to avoid them through these, right? Pratyahara, things that are negative, could be, you know, watching some negative things, or, you know, smelling some negative things, or, you know, anything, hearing some negative things, too passionate music. So whichever are not good for your spiritual life, avoid them. So that is pratyahara. And then dharana. Now at this point, after doing all this, now you have the ability to focus for, you know how much? 12 seconds. So that is called dharana. When you can do for 12 by 12, 144 seconds, that is called dhyana. And then you multiply it by another 12, which is about 30 minutes, that is called samadhi. If you are able to totally focus your mind on God. So that is samadhi. So dharana, dhyana, samadhi, they are the actual process. Rest of the five are actually preparatory methods, right? Yamas, niyamas are the very basic things. Asanas will keep, asanas and pranayama will keep your body fit. Pratyahara will keep your body to, or, you know, mind to not receive any negative things. And then dharana, dhyana, and samadhi are the actual practices to elevate your consciousness mechanically, right? There are people who, you know, who meditate on nothingness. They can also say they are doing Ashtanga yoga, but that is all mechanical. In our case, we practice chanting. You know, many of us, we don't practice, you know, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, we don't practice any of that. We just chant the holy names. So pranayama is more like calming mind, to calm your mind, settling dust. For example, you have a water with some, say, solids, right? It's all moving fast. The dust is unsettled. Pranayama is a process that settles the dust. Means all the solids will go down, but it doesn't cleanse the dust. To cleanse the dust, what is the process? Bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is the only process that cleanses. To purge the unwanted things, the main process is bhakti yoga. So pranayama and even dhyana, dharana, samadhi does that, but only if you know, surrender to God. That is the only way you can achieve those, you know, cleansing, actual cleansing. So this is Ashtanga yoga. Now we'll go a little bit to discuss about the importance of Brahma Muhurtha. So we are all chanting. How many of you are chanting now? Raise your hand freely. I'm one hand is not raising. Okay, yeah. And how many of you are chanting 4 rounds at least? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of you are chanting 2 rounds at least? Huh? One time only. Okay, yeah. Okay. So 1 round, many of you are joining 1 round then. Okay. Yeah. So if you can do this 1 round in the early morning, okay, that will be the best, right? Now you have been doing this for a few months, maybe 3 months or so, right? You have been here for the classes for 3-4 months. You should also think about increasing the number, right? And you would find time. It's not like you won't find time. It's easy. When I started, I felt like, how can I give you like an hour for chanting? I thought it's impossible. But you will find time. Once you start doing it, the time is also energy of God. Time itself will manifest in such a way in your life such that you will have enough time for chanting. In fact, people chant more than 2-3 hours, those who are serious. And they will do everything else normally. It's not like they lose anything, right? So I haven't materially lost anything by coming to Krishna consciousness. So my own life is an example for that. So And especially when you raise early in the morning, Brahma Muhurta is 72 minutes before the sunrise, right? So those hours are very powerful for spiritual life, and your mind is very open and fresh. It doesn't have any, anxieties, day anxieties, or it doesn't have any, negative experiences that by then. And the whole atmosphere also is very positive at the time. So if one can get up, you know, uh, ideally around 5, or even before, many serious spiritual practitioners get, wake up at 4 to 4:30. But even if you wake up at 5 or 5:30, even that is great. Okay. So, so that is the, appropriate time to end the sleep. We should sleep early, ideally by 10, not later than 10. Like 9 to 10 is the ideal time. If you sleep by the time, you only need 5 hours of sleep. By 10, if you sleep, you would, have your sufficient sleep by 3 a.m. in the morning, 3 to 4, right? But even you can sleep little longer. The later you sleep, the more the body demands. Because every hour you sleep in the early hours from 10 to 12 is equivalent to like 2 or 3 hours, 2x or 3x of the hours you sleep later, right? That's why many people who sleep very late, they stay drowsy whole throughout the day, because the body doesn't have enough time to recover yet. But if you have to study, you can wake up, early in the morning at 3 a.m. That is ideal time. Your mind is also fresh. You can be really good at, in terms of your learning abilities, right? So that is this. Yeah. So we'll discuss some benefits of Brahma Muhurta, right? So these are from Manu Smriti, this sloka. It says, morning time sleep destroys the pious credits and good deeds. If somebody sleeps too late, it destroys, all the good activities, the pious credits one performs in life will be lost, right? So one should avoid raising too late. And then one who gets up in Brahma Muhurta, this is Baishajya Sara. I don't know what that is, but one who gets up in Brahma Muhurta time gets beauty, wealth, good health, long life, etc. His body becomes beautiful like lotus. Just by getting up early. So this is the experience of many. So when Srila Prabhupada came in 1960s to West, right? Many of the hippies who are looking for, some spirituality, right? They were trying to, they were trying various LSDs and other, drugs. When they met Srila Prabhupada, they had a change of life completely, because he was utterly loving them without expecting anything and serving them, giving them the best knowledge. When they heard about, Bhagavad Gita, many of them have changed their lifestyle completely. And all these hippies who were very morose, drowsy, and never taking a bath also, they all became very happy, and the faces were so bright, and they were all chanting the holy names of Lord Hari, and their life is completely transformed after meeting Srila Prabhupada. So we can clearly see that all these effects were there in their life. Beauty, they became very beautiful and cheerful and happy. Wealthy, they got Krishna. Having Krishna is the greatest wealth. Suppose you are son of, your daughter of Bill Gates, but you don't know. But one day he realizes and you realize, and you unite. Will you be healthy? Will you be wealthy from then onwards? Right? You are the wealthiest in the world. But Krishna is the wealthiest in the entire creation. And he is your father only. But we don't realize right now. But when we realize, you know, how lucky we should feel, right? So that is wealth. Good health, right? Because you have a very uh, you know, proper, lifestyle, you will be naturally very healthy because you don't eat anything and everything once you become, once you take to spiritual life. So naturally, health will be there, right? With health comes long life because you're leading a very simple life, and devotees naturally become very attractive. You see, you go back to your family and they will all be attracted to you because you speak nicely, you think of their welfare, and you know, teach them nice lessons of Bhagavad Gita. So naturally, they all love you. Initially they may resist. Oh, what happened to you suddenly? But slowly they'll like you. Okay. So everybody loves those who have spiritual knowledge. Yeah. So if those who practice spiritual life early in the morning hours, so generally, people worry about Rahu Kal, times when they should not act in certain ways, right? But if somebody acts to, uh, uh, practice a spiritual life in the early hours, there is no, influence of any planets. Yeah. So in the body also, so just like in the summer, there is a lot of heat in the body, right? Because of exposure to sunlight. So similarly, in the early morning hours, there is prana and apana vayus in the body, right? So they help one to stay, very fresh and healthy. So they're very active. And at that time, when you practice anything, you will have great results. So that's why in fact, many billionaires wake up, they have a very early morning schedule. They do many of the things before 7. By 7, half their day is already over when, most of us are sleeping. So their half day is over already. They achieved their, lot of goals. So because there is additional support from nature within your own body, prana, upon vayus. So in this way, it's all very, vibrant time to grow. Yeah. So, and this Brahma Muhurtha time is also very effective to cure lot of genetically caused diseases, right? Because, uh, you know, because of stay in the womb, some people acquire certain diseases. It's called, in Ayurveda, the time of Garbhavas. There are certain, infections and diseases that some people get, uh, in the womb, right? So these genetic diseases, which are incurable generally by any allopathic medicine, uh, if those people who have these problems, if they practice, spiritual life in the early hours during Brahma Muhurta, they have got cured. There is empirical evidence for such things. Yeah. So there are 8, chakras within the body. Ashtanga Yoga teaches about this. We don't discuss that. There is Sahasrara chakra in the, here somewhere. So in the early morning hours, there is a drop of nectar that drops from the Sahasrara chakra, only for those who actually in a meditative pose at the time or chanting at the time. And that drop of liquid, the drops, created within your body, uh, it's called Amrita for its potency of, keeping your body very healthy. That drop, if somebody sleeps at the time, that, they're losing the value of the drop. But somebody who is in a meditative, posture at the time, they actually leverage the benefit of this, the Amrita from Sahasrara chakra. Yeah. So sadhakas can, that actually accumulates at Nabi, and, it benefits health and well-being in various ways. So that's why it is recommended to practice meditation in the early hours during Brahma Muhurta time. Yeah. Also, it is mentioned that, divine personalities move in the early hours of the day, and demonic personalities move in the night times. That's why if you see, as soon as night begins, especially in India, you see all these liquor shops open only on the night. They'll never open in the daytime, right? And all these rascals from everywhere will come, and there'll be big queue. Just like there is a queue, at the temple in the morning. All the devotees go in the morning, to the temple for Mangalarti. Similarly, in the night at 10 o'clock, all these special personalities will come around wine shops, right? So, because that is the demonic time, and it's a drowsy, where mode of ignorance is prominent. So, within the day, there are times when mode of goodness is prominent, which is the early morning hours up till 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. is mode of passion, right? Mode of passion is rajas, means activity. That's when you can do a lot of activity if you want to. And then from 5 p.m. till midnight is mode of ignorance or tamasa guna. So that guna is very prominent. So when that guna is prominent in the nature, activities of those aligned to that guna will be prominent, right? So at that time there will be lot of you know cabaret dances, or all these unwanted things will be on the rise, right? In the morning, all these guys will be sleeping. They're nowhere to be found. All these drunkards, they'll be sleeping. They're not even aware, right? And in the night, all the devotees sleep. By 10 o'clock, they'll sleep. And all these guys will wake up and, go. So that's how life is. So, uh, so these divine personalities will bless us, you know. So we receive the blessings. And also, taking bath early in the morning is also great benefit. Bathing done during Brahma Muhurtha gives greatest benefit. While taking bath, if one meditates on Paramatma, then it's called Brahma Snana. So we can simply chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra while taking bath. Just do some humming, right? Humming sound. So that becomes Brahma Snana. And if one remembers divine rivers, like, Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Narmada, these are called divine rivers. Then it's called Devasnana, Brahmasnana and Devasnana. By taking bath in this time, all three doshas get pacified. Three doshas are Kapha, Vata, and Pitta. So imbalancing these causes diseases as per Ayurveda, right? Kapha, Vata, Pitta. So these are three components within the body of every human, every body. And any disease is basically an imbalance of these three doshas. Those who take Brahmasnana or early morning bath in the early hours, their doshas are pacified, and mind and intelligence becomes very strong. Means they have very clear decisive powers. So during Brahma Muhurta, the tamasic powers are in sleeping state, right? All the drunkards are sleeping at the time, right? Yeah. So mind and intelligence are positively oriented. One can quickly get absorbed in meditation. One's ability to memorize is also very strong. A lot of devotees practice memorizing slokas, Bhagavad Gita slokas or Bhagavatam slokas at this time. Yeah. And finally, Ayurvedic lifestyle. You all heard about Ayurveda. It's an alternative medicine to allopathy, right? So what is the difference between Ayurveda and allopathy? Anyone knows? Huh? Side effects will not be there. But what is the primary method of allopathy? Allopathy means in English medicine. Hmm. It's symptomatic cure. It's called symptomatic cure. If you have fever, take 500 mg of Tylenol. Dolo, it doesn't matter what it is. You have temperature, reduce the temperature. Symptomatic cure. Ayurveda is not like that. It's a root cause cure. Root cause cure means it goes to the root of the problem. What is the dosha? What is the imbalance that is caused? Just by, there are nadi specialists in Ayurveda. If you don't take bath and just go and show your nadi, I have gone many times. They will tell all the problems I have without even checking any test, no diagnosis, nothing. They'll tell you, you have this, your temperature is this, and you have this imbalance right now. You have cough. They will detect you if you have cough. You have body pains. They'll tell your liver has a problem. Just by checking your pulse, they can tell you all of that. I have seen such doctors who are very good at it. Not everybody can do it, but there are very good specialists who can do that. But anyway, so if you want to, if you lead a sattvic life, the way, that we have described here in raising Brahma Muhurtha, eating sattvic food, like what we, eat here in this gathering, and, practice some spiritual life like chanting, every day. So then Ayurvedic medicine will work. For people who, drink and all, no, it doesn't work. Ayurveda doesn't work. Yeah. So if one rises early in the morning, Ayurvedic life can be practiced. Yeah. So I'll keep it open for any questions now. Any questions on what we discussed so far? Yeah. Different bodies require different amounts of sleep. Age also, basically it is correlated to body one has. And one should rest sufficiently so that they're fresh when they wake up. Sometimes one may not have continuous sleep. They can rest, take a nap in between so that they feel fresh, because they cannot sleep continuously for say 7 hours. But whatever body demands, the more one is spiritual, the less one requires sleep. The more one spiritually awakened. For example, Srila Prabhupada at the age of 75 and 77, he would only sleep for at most 1.5 to 2 hours, and he stays fresh. He would, so all the books that Prabhupada gave, he would translate them in the midnight. He would wake up, he would sleep from 9 p.m. to 10:30, 11. And from 11 to morning 5 a.m., he would do writing. Can you imagine? He did that for 10 years, continuously. So his body did not require more than 1.5 hours. So it is based on one's spiritual growth. Again, we cannot artificially do that. If we try, we'll collapse next day. Let's not do any of that. Let's sleep for 7 hours. That is good. But oversleeping is also not good, right? And as you chant more, you would yourself feel lesser and lesser necessity for sleeping. Yeah. So that's how it works. Hmm? Hmm. Yeah. Ekadasi, we don't eat grains, means rice, dals, we avoid, pulses. We can eat, uh, non-rice, non-dal, like, quinoa we can eat. Quinoa is not considered a grain. And then there is potatoes, there is, sweet meats, sweet potatoes, cabbage, few things. I can share more details if you like to follow, right? Yeah. Why? So, because there are, scientific reasons as well. These grains retain a lot of water, and on that particular day, the tides have certain frequency, and it's not good for digestion that day for rice. So that is physical reason. But actual spiritual reason is that day, um, any spiritual practice done has high value. So those who are serious in spiritual life want to take advantage of that day. It's like a businessman want to take advantage of a festival day where there will be a lot of sales, so he'll keep it open for longer, for example. So similarly, those who are serious spiritually, they want to take advantage of the benefit of the high spiritual growth possible that day. So they chant, they spend more time in spiritual pursuits, like hearing more, chanting more, reading more on that day. So to do that, to facilitate that, you have to do less of other things, where most of our day goes in cooking, cleaning. All of that is now taken away. If you just eat raw fruits, for example, it's much easy to maintain, right? Or cook one or two small things like quinoa and potatoes or whatever, right? And then your cooking is simplified, and eat only say a couple of times instead of 3 times. So like that, we reduce our physical needs and increase our time for God and spiritual pursuits. Yeah, Vaikuntha Ekadasi night, they don't sleep. But the idea of not sleeping is to spend the time in chanting. If you are not chanting, better sleep instead of watching movies. That time only they will be the Yes. Yeah. Ideally, every Ekadasi one should do it because the day is so powerful. Any amount of spiritual practice is multiplied in its value. One realization one gets about God. But it's okay. I mean, most devotees sleep and they wake up early, but they do chant more rounds on the day. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Ashtan, have these yamas and yamas, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we practice them in our personal life or spiritual life, there is marked difference. But for example, some of us are working. These qualities are in fact like for me, I can say this, avoid stealing, right? That will actually not be looked upon well. Someone is very aggressive and steal someone else's ideas, literally. They'll in fact applaud that, oh, he's very good at, doing this work. So is this
Practical? Is this practical?
For all aspects?
Yes, it's practical for all aspects. We should have the integrity. You know what happens if one steals? They will get the karma back. Somebody else will steal their stuff. It's not going to.
Then both of them will start stealing each other.
No, it need not be each other. It could be from some other source, but one has to pay back. It's karma works notoriously. It doesn't, anybody who steals has to pay back. No way. And he'll be crying that day, oh, why he stole my idea. Okay. But because you are getting it only because you did it in the past, maybe in this life, in the past life. So it's always good to always understand Paramatma is witness for every action we do. God is the witness. There is no place we can escape where we can perform something and we cannot, we did it behind the closed eyes. No. Integrity should be practiced in personal life, professional life. Doesn't matter. You will get what you deserve anyway. Yes. Doesn't matter. We should stick to our integrity. No compromise. In fact, looking at our character, people give you everything. I have my own life. Like wherever I work, always top. Yeah. So top performer. Because I'm nice to everyone. I do my job properly. I don't, waste my time for other things. And I'm humble and try to, do whatever I can do in my capacity. You'll be recognized for your, you don't need to, oh, did I not show off? That's what people try to do, right? Everywhere. Many times they will pick me and ask me, you answer. Then I'll answer. Until then, people say so many things, but they'll accept finally this one. So we don't need to worry about those things. Just be what you are. And world recognizes. They know who is what. And when they have a problem, right, they'll not go to anybody else. They'll come to you only because they know you have integrity. Yeah. So we have the, backing of Krishna. That is the biggest strength we have compared to anybody else. So we don't need to feel anxiety for anything in life. Just be normal. All challenges will come. It doesn't mean that no challenges. Even Pandavas got a lot of challenges. But understand you have God with you. That is the biggest boost. Who has it in this world? Right? And he's your father. Father only wants the best for you. And you don't know what lesson he's teaching through that experience. Just wait for it patiently. And everything will be normal. Just stay patient in life. Everything will be given to you nicely. Anything else?
Five does sadhana, five to seven he sleeps a day. How do you look at this? It's not right.
4 to 5 he does sadhana and 5 to 7 he sleeps. For 1 hour sadhana. But 4 to 5 sadhana is very powerful. Yeah? And many devotees also take rest so that they stay fresh for the rest of the day. It is okay. I also take a nap sometimes, from like 6 to 6:30 or so. 30 minutes is enough for me. Wake up at 4:30 and do like 1.5 hour sadhana, and then 30 minutes if you rest, you feel very fresh. Mhm. But you already did spiritual practice, right? So that has its value. It's not going to go away. And that sleep is not, it's just to restore your freshness. Because to ability, early morning, your day started quite early. So you need breaks and rest, which is good, right? If you continuously work, you would age out fast actually. So you should have breaks, sufficient breaks. So in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says you should have sufficient Vishram and Aram, means you should also rest, and you should have Vihar. Ahar, Vihar, both should be. It's not that you control your eating and you don't have any enjoyment, no Vihar. You should entertain also, but all in a prescribed manner. It's not like you just enjoy whole night outs. It's not like that. So regulatedly you should enjoy. Yeah. You should play outdoor games. You should, if your time permits, you should perform yoga, serve cows. Prabhu goes to farm and serves the cows. Yeah. So don't worry, life will be normal. Just, yeah. Anything else? 115. Hmm. Yes. Yes. See, if your body tells you should sleep, don't try to artificially stay awake. That's what. No. But you prioritize and somehow you try to, stretch yourself and chant your rounds in the morning hours. But if body requires, take the time out and sleep. Especially don't sleep while driving and all, It's I had a bad experience. You know, I was like hero, in the early days. And once, I was early every day I was waking up at 4 o'clock, going to Mangalarti in temple, never miss, here only in Radha Nilmada. In 2015 or so, I was sleeping while driving, I slept for 10 seconds and I crashed into 5 trees, all 5 trees flat. And luckily nothing, nobody is there on the walkway, and the car got totaled, but I was saved. Cop came and said, what happened to you? Are you drunk? I spoke in such a way that, I'll leave you. He said, I realized something is wrong, something happened today. But so that was a big lesson. I never, from that day, I never stretch myself. If I ever need to sleep, I sleep right away. If body says you should sleep, that's very clear. While driving also, if you ever feel sleepy, take a break for 10 minutes and sleep on the, side road somewhere, but don't drive. Yeah. Because that happens in a split second. You don't even realize. Many people have done that, not just me, many people have this experience. So very careful with that. Anyway, anything else? Any other questions? So one of the reasons could be we're not inspired much about the chanting. That's the reason we should hear a little bit about the power and potency of chanting. That is the reason, or read some paragraph about chanting. There are many good books about it, so that we inspire ourselves about what we are doing every day on a regular basis. And during sadhana, try to stay awake, right? You can walk sometimes if you are drowsy, but if you really need sleep, sleep. It's better to sleep than doing half-hearted sadhana, right? And wake up fresh and do better rounds. That's preferred. But if your mind is getting distracted and not able to focus, then do some pranayam that will help focus your mind, and read something about chanting and then restart. Yeah, so different solutions for different situations. Yeah. So how many of you want to increase your rounds now after hearing the session? Anybody? Good. Thank you. Huh? You? Okay. How many rounds from how many rounds? How many are you doing now? 14 you are doing? Haribol. Now you're heading to 16? Give a clap. Wonderful. Prabhu, how many rounds you're chanting now? One. Any? Yeah. Okay, one thing I would recommend, if you are sleeping, how many of you don't get good sleep here? Anybody here don't get good sleep? Okay. And the reasons, like maybe we can discuss personally, but if you can express here, because good sleep is very essential for success in life, anything, or professionally or yeah, professionally or spiritually. Good sleep is a good component of your daily activity. Okay. If you want to achieve reasonable success in life, you need to have anything you do to make sure you get a good sleep. Okay. Yeah. You want to share something? Yeah.
My phone past 6:30, then I can't sleep until 11, 12. Mind's very occupied with all that I was thinking throughout the day. It's especially phenomenal in coding, because after 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours of intense coding, once it touches 6 o'clock, I know that as much as I try, there'll always be some edge case or some situation.
Your debugging continues in the head.
Like today morning, so one of the edge cases running in my mind. And I was thinking,
Test cases are running still.
At 6:30, if I don't stop coding, then sleep gets hit alone. That's something hard.
Okay. Yeah. So that is habituation, basically, we do whatever profession we do is to, basically the goal is to help us, lead a decent spiritual life. We should understand the goal, ultimate goal, right? And tell your mind that, you'll get back to it. Keep the thoughts and you'll get back to it. If it is very forceful, write down so that, it doesn't keep on popping again and again, so that the thought can be addressed whenever you get back to work again, right? Write down your thoughts. That's one way. And then focus on hearing something from, say, Prabhupada lecture, or, whoever your inspiring speaker. Hear something from them, right? That way your mind gets now focused on something else, right? Or hear nice kirtan, that way, get defocused. Yeah, practice that and do some exercise. If you have some exercise equipment, physically, if you exhaust, then, or run, jog, or do some anulom vilom, breathing exercises. Then basically the idea is to get away first thing is to get away from your seat, right? You don't get away. Many people don't get up from their seat. Every 2 hours one should get up. Otherwise, their mind will not have fresh thoughts. A lot of times, the problems we are thinking at the time will not be solved at the time. You get away, go to fresh air, drink some water, think about something else, read some paragraph, nice spiritual, content, come back, you will solve the problem in no time. Many people have solved like that through intuition, not by mere just, stretching mind on a problem continuously. Yeah. So life is short. So make sure we, happily live, lead spiritual life continuously. And, God is there with us. Krishna is there with us for everything. We don't need to feel anxiety. We'll solve every problem. Okay? Yeah. Very good. Yeah, meditation also helps. Yes. Yeah. And we don't want to get away from that. That's the problem. Our habituation is such that let's continue on the thought. And especially when you chant, all coding problems will be solved. Yeah.
So how to avoid that?
So we should pray to the Lord. Pray to Lord saying, I want to really focus on hearing your holy name. Please give me the strength to hear that. Only through prayers and, submission, we grow spiritually. Our mind is like a monkey, right? Monkey with a coconut in hand. What does it do? It'll hit, right? Yeah. So prayers are the biggest, power in our hand, actually. What you cannot physically or emotionally, mentally achieve can be achieved through prayer, silent prayers. Yeah. Anything else? Hmm. Hmm. Yes. That, I also practice this. So breakfast we take in the morning by 8, and lunch by 1, and dinner by 6, 7. That will be ideal. A lot of, ashram devotees in ashram in India or even here in temples, they eat only at 2 times. One is at 10 o'clock and then 3 o'clock. They have eat very nicely and heavily these 2 times. And in the night, they drink milk or some fruit. That's it. And that is enough, actually. Night, you don't need a lot of food because you have sufficient, food. Yeah, dinner time. Heavy dinner is not good because that will also disturb your sleep. Yeah. If you have to eat a lot, eat by 7, not later than that. Yeah. So eating early helps sleeping early, because you need to give at least 1 to 2 hours at least before you, sleep. Fruit and milk is enough. You can eat little bit, whatever you make also, but keep it light in the night. So that will help you wake up early in the morning. If you have, one thing is, if you want to have good sleep, regularity is most important. Sleeping at a fixed time every day and waking up at a fixed time. And you should have a regular life, meaning before sleeping, you should have a habit of hearing something spiritual or reading something spiritual. So that way you have, that regularity brings lot of, cadence to your life, meaning you will have good sleep, good, restful nights, So a lot of people who have bad sleep nights will be able to address with this. Because the life you are leading is passionate life, and that causes lack of sleep. Sattvic life is when you will be happy, you will be peaceful, and everything will be smooth. Yeah. Anything else? You can work hard sometimes. Once in a while, we have to study or work late hours. That is fine, but that should not become your daily affair, right? Especially as a bachelor, unmarried boy working, I know you have no regularity, 100%. That's how it is. I was like that too. So, no hiding. Yeah. So that's why staying together with like-minded people, like, those who are coming here, if 4, 5 of you stay together, looking at each other will inspire each other, will help each other. If some of you can come together, that will be great. Yeah. So, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu, who is my mentor, who will come here also for us. So he actually is doing an online class for the students of classes like ours all over America. So like you, many other, like 10 other universities have also classes like this. So he want to do classes for those who are chanting at least 10 rounds. So I think you can be part of it. You can be part of it. Some of you can be part of it. You do. Yeah, so you can be part of it. So if you can message me, I will, your email, number of rounds, then I can, send him message so that he can add you to the group. So you want to do a class once a week for those focused students who are, chanting already at least 10 rounds. Others can get there soon. So we should always try to see how we can improve our chanting. Huh? Chant continuously. 16 rounds is a lot. I mean, we don't need to worry about that. Now you're chanting one round, right? One round means 108, not one mantra, right? So one round, and one round like that, you should do 2 rounds next goal for you. And then slowly 4 rounds, like that. Now we chant, for example, we chant 16 rounds every day. It takes about 1.5 to 2 hours to chant 16 rounds every single day. You don't need to continuously chant. You can chant 4 rounds in the morning, 4 rounds in the afternoon. But ideally, morning is the best time, right? Don't take till evening. Even if you're 2 rounds, if you cannot give, that much time in the morning, do 1 round in the morning, do 1 round in the afternoon, in the beginning. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, a lot of practical discussion. Mahak is silent, surprisingly. Mahak, no questions?
Prabhu, I'm listening to all the stories you are sharing.
Okay.
I do not do 10 rounds now. So
Sure, no problem. We'll get there.
yeah.
Where are you now?
I am in Vancouver, Prabhu.
You moved there?
Yeah, I moved 2 months back.
Okay. Thank you for joining.
Okay.
Hope you will continue like this.
Yeah, Prabhu.
We'll end the call here.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.